Hi, and welcome to this episode of Cyprus Light. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, welcome back. If in the current climate you've been Googling the internet and Cyprus has come up and you thought, you know what, I'll click on that, and you've landed here, equally you are welcome to view. What is the channel all about if you're new to us? Well, simply Cyprus Light. We thought we'd start a little YouTube channel and document through the eyes of typical UK expats the process, the frustrations, the aggravations, shall we say, the successes of complete relocation from UK to the island of Cyprus via the pink slip application route. So part of that application, both here in the UK and Cyprus, requires you to undertake certain tests, both physically and financially, etc., and also to undertake more stringent security measures, because believe it or not, Cyprus is one of those sensible countries which really wants to know who's going to live in their jurisdiction. Part of that is known as ACRO certification. What is that? Well, it's the Association of Chief Police Officers Records Office, ACRO for short. Essentially, it is a police record check. What do you need to do? Well, it's all online. So if you type in ACRO certification, up it will pop. Then you can open an account. So what do you need? Well, obviously you will need a valid email address. That's your basics. So every time you log in, they will send you a 6-digit code to verify it's you, and then you can carry out whatever part of that test that you need to do. So first of all, you will need, when you're going online, a copy of your passport, because you need to scan that in. You will need a photograph of yourself, which matches as near as you can to the photograph in your passport, and the app will then decide whether or not it is you or whether it's some random person pretending to be you. More importantly than that, before you finish, you will need one of these, i.e. a debit card to pay for the situation, and then away you go. So what do you need to do? Obviously your basic information, who you are, where you were born, when you were born. That's your starting point. You will need your national insurance number if you've got one. You will obviously need, as I mentioned, your passport details and the availability to scan that in. You will also need all your previous 10 years worth of address information. If you're like me, it was a bit of a nightmare because the previous 20 years I've been in one address, and the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years I've moved around a little bit. So for each address that you've used in the last 10 years, you'll have to put the details. Don't worry if you don't know the date you moved in, the date you moved out, when you bought the house, when you rented the house. Get it as accurate as you can, and that should suffice. On to the main crux of the form, that is your criminal record. Again, if you've been a bit of a naughty person and you've had to fill a few things in, then be as honest and as accurate as you can, because obviously if you are trying to cover things up, they will find it and it will be noted on your certificate. Hopefully it'll end up with no trace, as mine did, but I'll fess up now. I had to pop a few details in there for previous misdemeanors, but minor details should hopefully not cause you any issues going forward, but you do have to put those in. Again, if you've had a divorce situation, so it's a name change, then you have to make note of that as well. So how long does it take? Well, I would say probably half an hour, but you can save it section by section by section. But if you've got all the details that I mentioned available and ready, you can go straight through the process and then you submit it into the ACRO office for verification and certification, all the rest of that. Then you probably wait about 5 days. They will notify you that they're ready to process it, and then a couple of weeks later you may get the certification back. That's after you paid for it. So how much does that cost? Well, if you get a second copy, it's £75, which is what I did. So why would you do it two copies? Well, let's be right. You might have children who might decide to draw all over it. You might have a dog that decides to eat it. So keep a spare copy just in case. What you do then is you go online and submit the application that you've already got from the ACRO office to the Foreign Office. So essentially, you need to send it off to the Foreign Office. They will then check that the police check is checked correctly. So the checkers are being checked by another checker to make sure the check's correct. You heard me right. How much does that cost? Around £50. And that'll take probably another 3 weeks. So you're looking at, based on my experience, around about 5 weeks. Now that's quite important if you're thinking of going out to Cyprus and taking up residence here, or Airbnb in, or staying in a hotel for a while, or staying with a mate, or whatever you're doing, and you want to try and kick the process off with regard to relocation in Cyprus. So the certificate comes back is something like that, and then on the back is the Foreign and Commonwealth Office's stamp, shall we say. The cost of all that is around roughly about £130 for your certificate. If you have to submit a divorce decree certification, that's going to cost you another 50 quid or so. So you can see that starts to mount up a little bit. It's important that you time it correctly, because that piece of paper there is now live because of the situation with regard to our residency and the bank account situation and meeting the local mayor and all the rest of that, and getting the appointments at the immigration, which is now stretching, and we've found out from people in the ground at the moment. So we're in March, it's July already, so that 6 month period is already being eaten away as you go along. So it might be that we've got to resubmit ours again, so it's another cost, but it's the gamble you take. So the ACRO is absolutely critical. You can't do anything without it. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid paying for it. But I just wanted to make sure that people were aware, because believe it or not, I've seen forums where people have gone on there and asked, because their passport is a different colour to their partner's, can they still submit those details? Now, I can assure you that if you've got the old pinky purpley coloured one, you've got potentially a blue one. Is there a blue one still out there? I don't know. You've got a black one. As long as it's valid, as long as it's in date, you can use that passport to do your ACRO, to do your immigration, to do your bank account details over in Cyprus. I hope you found this a little bit interesting, a little bit informative if you weren't sure. If you've gone through the process and you want to comment, did it go well? Did you wait forever? Did they lose it? Did the Foreign Office lose it? Did you get a photograph back with a wrong form, etc.? If you're not sure about anything, you want to put comments in, ask further questions, or I've not explained it correctly, please do so. There's an email address below if you don't want to go public. We will try and help you out. All this and everything else that we put on is an attempt to make it as easy as possible for everybody else. Basically, learn from my mistakes, which I've already done. I will make some more mistakes, I am sure, and hopefully you can go through that process swiftly in one hit. Like I say, half an hour, 130 quid ish it's going to cost you, and then that kicks off the time limits, which is 6 months for these to be valid, to pop into your immigration appointment when you get it. Okay, that's it. If you get a thumbs up, brilliant. If you want to subscribe, so there's more videos about rental that we've already done. There will be more coming out. The next set of videos will be, fingers crossed, airlines and all the rest of it at the moment, what's going on from Cyprus. So it's Chris saying thank you very much for joining in today, and spring is here because the wind is trying to take the conservatory roof off. Catch you later.